TIFU by not realizing I have pneumonia. Last Sunday, I had severe back pain and assumed I had thrown out my back by doing something simple. So I went to my doctor and she said there was inflammation back there and treated me for the back pain. Gave me some muscle relaxers and some physical therapy stretches to do, and off I went about my regular business. I had other symptoms, but they tend to also be symptoms of pre-existing conditions I have, so I didn't mention them. Then, a few days ago, my husband and I had that once every 5 years epic fight. He yelled, I yelled and cried. Blah blah blah. The next day, I lost my voice. I chalked it up the yelling since I typically don't yell. I must have strained my vocal cords. I also had a bit of swelling in my feet and ankles, but I had been on my feet a lot, so that must be why. Right? Wrong. Then yesterday the swelling became really bad. Like I lost my ankles beneath the fluid in my legs. I was swollen from my feet to my face. Whole body. Ignored it once again. Went about my business again. I had taken the day off to spend with my sister and have a 4-day weekend. While we were hanging out, I became increasingly worse. I felt like my heart was going to beat its way out of my chest. I was struggling to breathe. The back pain was insane. The swelling was insane, and I had what looked like water wing-shaped bubbles around my ankles. Because the swelling was so bad, my sister insisted I call the doctor. They had me come right in due to the severity of the symptoms. The doctor went all Dr. House and pulled out a whiteboard listing my symptoms. My blood pressure was high and my resting heart rate was 107 BPM when it's typically around 75-ish. He pushed on my cheeks where my sinuses are and asked if that hurt, which it did not. Then he pushed on my forehead and that did hurt. He said, I want to send you over to the hospital for a chest x-ray because of your shortness of breath. He called me a couple of hours later and said, you have pneumonia. Your lungs have a lot of nasty infected fluid in them, and that's why you can't breathe. Lost your voice. Your back pain or your lungs screaming for help. Also why your heart rate and blood pressure are so high. I said, that's crazy. I haven't felt like I've had a cold or sinus issues. And he explained it was going down my throat instead of my filling my sinuses. So I was sick and had no clue. Oops. So here I am on bed rest, drinking plenty of fluids, and taking several different meds. The high dose of antibiotics is already working. My voice is starting to come back. What a wild ride. TLDR. I continuously ignored some nasty symptoms that were actually symptoms of pneumonia. I'm now on meds and I'll live. An old coworker of mine had pneumonia and didn't realize how bad it was. She came into work to replace me. I took one look at her and arranged to get her to the hospital and covered part of her shift. She didn't realize that she wasn't functioning well due to low oxygen. It's called a silent pneumonia. You're lucky to be alive. My cousin almost lost their little girl to it. If they haven't done an x-ray at the they would have sent her home. I had pneumonia twice. But the worst time is when I caught it at the hospital after surgery and it led to sepsis. Not something to ignore at all. A few years ago, I had back pain like yours and went to my doctor for muscle relaxants. Luckily, my doctor was incredible. Listened to my chest straight away. Did a blood test and made me wait at his office. Bloods got sent by courier to a lab and results came back within an hour. Turned out I had a pulmonary embolism and severe pneumonia. Spent a fun week in hospital and months of recover. 7 years on and my lungs are still useless. Can't run for more than a few seconds and I'll be taking medication for the rest of my life. Get better soon. OBVs, I am not your doctor and therefore this shouldn't be taken as specific medical advice. But the degree of ankle swelling and fluid on the lungs, plural, sounds more like heart failure, congestion than pneumonia. Op. If you start feeling worse, especially increased swelling, shortness of breath, heart racing, please go to hospital. The scariest thing about pneumonia is you don't know what you have until you get the classic breathing symptoms. When I had it as a kid, I just woke up with a sore throat but felt really tired throughout the whole day. The tiredness was lack of oxygen.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.